Yeah, so we're talking about Super Bowl. So let's talk a little bit about, one of the great questions at the Super Bowl, of course, was will he propose to Taylor or not? Right? That was one of the great. I think they were taking money on it that he was going to propose if they won. That Kels was going to propose if they won. They didn't. He didn't propose that I know of, but it looked like she had a great time. She was down on the field, and of course, every camera was on her, and she probably got her 25 seconds, like in every other game that freaked everybody out. With all that being said, uh, the whole Taylor Swift backlash that we've been hearing, especially from Fox News. Now, I did get a comment that I thought, yeah, it's really probably pretty wise. It was from Jeff. I'm not sure if anybody knows Jeff's name from the comment section, but he said, I apart from hearing the left complain about the Taylor Swift thing, I don't hear many on the right talking about it. And I responded, check out Fox News, because Fox News was really upset by this. But Brian Kilmeade on his show, he said something that I thought was really, really interesting. He was talking about Taylor Swift. Now, Taylor Swift, of course, recording artist, sells a lot of albums, makes a lot of money by selling a lot of albums. It's a business. I get it, right? I'm with you. You in order to sell albums, in order to be a successful business, you got to sell your albums, and she does sell her albums. She sells her. There was a statistic that I read a few weeks ago that said something along the lines of, when her concert comes to your town, it's literally the economic equivalent of the Super Bowl coming to your community, right? That many people come, that much money comes. It's a big deal for your community. And I don't know how much the tickets are, but I know people from Halifax that have traveled all along the East Coast to see Taylor Swift in concert. I think my daughter knows a kid in grade 7 or 8 who's seen her twice on this tour. Anyhow, Brian Kilmeade was talking about the business aspect of Taylor Swift's life, her art. And, because Fox News is really freaked out that she's going to bring in new voters. Because I think last time she put something out that said, hey, go register to vote. And like within minutes, 35,000 young people registered to vote. And that freaks these guys out, because generally speaking, she's going to have a younger crowd registering to vote, and younger crowds do skew more towards the Democrats, more towards the left. So of course Fox News is upset by this. They're kind of losing their minds over this, and they've got to put this down, or at least they need to make it look like they're putting it down, so that their viewers will keep tuning in and buying whatever pillows they happen to be selling that day. What he says is, if she takes this political stand, by taking a political stand, and there's video of her out there trashing Marsha Blackburn, and who's a Republican from her state, and so it kind of looks like maybe she skews to the left herself. And Brian Kilmeade says, why would you tell half of your customers, half of America, that you disagree with them? You're going to lose their business. Why would you do that? Now, realistically, if she's a Democrat, and if she gets people to vote for Biden, and if she lines up against Trump, it's not half of her fans are not Republicans, right? It's not like one half of her fans are Democrats and one half of her fans are Republicans. She probably skews quite heavily to the left. But with all that being said, when I heard him say that, I was like, oh my God, yes. Yes, he's so right, though. Not about the Taylor Swift. No, he's absolutely wrong about Taylor Swift. He's speaking out of his backside on that side of things. It's not deep thought by any stretch. But he's absolutely right from the church perspective. And you know me, I'm very selfish when it comes to this kind of thing. And when they say things like this, and I go, oh, that makes sense for the church. Because why would the church tell half the population that we disagree with them? by aligning ourselves with a particular political candidate, a particular presidential candidate. I'm going to try not to use the word political. Cherry Ann, who's another great teacher here, she reminds me that many churches have done many good things politically. And that's why, like, this is actually kind of a little bit of a complicated thought for me, because many churches have engaged in politics and have done really amazing things. You think about the amazing work of Martin Luther King, right? A churchman, a clergyman who entered into the political world to bring change about justice and equality and inclusion. You think about Bishop Barber in the States right now, in the work that he's doing. He's entering into the political side of things. Jamal Bowman entered into but not only individuals, entire churches. African American churches have a long history of getting involved in politics to bring about social change. The Roman Catholic Church, through the 1920s and 30s, the movement that Dorothy Day was a huge part of, right? They were political in nature. So the church, whichever denomination it happens to be, there are wonderful examples of the churches getting involved politically in order to bring about needed social change. So I don't want to say the church should stay out of all politics. Governance is something different. A presidential candidate is something different. Calling upon believers to subscribe to this particular presidential candidate because they need to see that he is divinely sent and inspired by God to bring about blah, 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 blah. Why? Brian Kilmeade's right. Why? Why is the MAGA church? Why are those Trumpian Christians? Why are Christians at all telling half the country that they disagree with them when it comes to a presidential candidate? Why are those churches saying things like, you can't vote Democrat and be a Christian? Why would you do that? You're destroying your witness in the world. You're making it incredible. So from Kilmeade's perspective, he was looking at it from a business perspective, the business side of things for Taylor Swift. She wants to sell as many albums as she possibly can. Why would you tell half the country that you disagree with them and now they won't buy your albums? Well, it's the same for the church. I mean, Jesus tells us, go and make disciples of all and baptize in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and share the gospel amongst your neighbors. And well, why, if that's our mission, if that's our true mission, why would we tell half the country that they're going to go to hell because they don't support our choice of a presidential candidate or a political party? We're telling half the country. In that case, we'd be telling half the country. We'd be angering half the country. We'd make it so that half the country doesn't want to have anything to do with us or with people like us. We ruin our brand. Kilmeade in that case is absolutely right. So I'm really, really hoping that those Christians who've bought into Trump's divinity, I'm really hoping that the Christians that are out there who are willing to, I will always support Trump and I will never support anybody but Trump and I will do whatever it takes for Trump to be reelected, and anybody who votes differently I'll never speak to again. And I really hope that all those Christians out there that would say things like, if you vote Democrat you're going to burn in hell, or you must vote Republican in order to be saved. I realize the people who are doing the baptisms at Trump rallies, who are completely convoluting, they're convoluting the faith with this selection of their favorite presidential candidate. I really hope they're able to hear Kilmeade's words and and let those words sink in. Because Trump is not our mission. America is not our mission. Canada is not our mission. Trudeau, Poilievre are not our mission. Our mission is not of this world. Our mission is of the spiritual world. Jesus at no point says, go and police the world and make sure everybody lives the way I want them to live, or the way you think I want them to live. At no point does he say, go out and make sure and demand of people to live the way you think I think they should live. At no point does Jesus. Tells us to go feed people, for sure. Tells us to go and take care of the sheep. Take care of his sheep. Take care of his flock. Absolutely. Go take care of your neighbors. Yes, he does say that. He absolutely does say that. Never does he make it about your country. Never does he make it about your king. Never does he make it about your president or your prime minister. Ever, never, ever. Never does he say, find a good candidate. Never does he say, find a good candidate and, they'll fix everything for you. Give unwavering support to some guy, and he'll take care of everything that you need done. Nope. At no point does Jesus ever give up any authority to any human being. So, I hope the MAGA crowd can hear what Kilmeade says. And I hope they take it to heart. I hope they take it to heart. I hope they listen. And I hope they accept the wisdom of those words. If your mission is to save souls, if your mission is to introduce the world to Jesus Christ, if your mission is to share the gospel, wherever you go, whenever you go there, if your mission is to make disciples, then why would you piss half the country off by demanding they accept your political party or your presidential candidate? Why would you do that? It's only going to get in the way of what the mission you say you have. Amen.